Do you plan on getting up? Yes, he's ready. Are you ready, T-Rex? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off or run out onto this beautiful blue sky Thursday morning, August 28th, 8:30 in the morning. Come on, Steve, let's go. We're just getting to 60 degrees now. Did you turn the heat on inside the house last night? I'm kidding. But we did get down to the 60s in the house last night. You know, I treat the weather a lot like a sporting event, call the play-by-play, and then when it's over, if it was an exciting game, you have to look at the highlights. And the highlights from yesterday are exceptional. What an extraordinary dynamic weather day. Not only did we get the launch of the first ever New England Weather Channel, 1degreeoutside.com.live. They were busy yesterday, weren't they? We had action here on the Big Dig. Luce was out there. We're going to have time lapse of that. And the sky yesterday was extraordinary, so different than today. Today the air is sinking. Yesterday the air was rising, and it makes all the difference in the world. And what a blown forecast, especially for Cape Cod and the islands. Well, no, Cape Cod. Islands, you were on your own. You had a nice day. Cape Cod, especially the north side of Route 6. This is what happened yesterday. Pea-sized hail yesterday afternoon, shared by Cape Cod Bars. Not only do we do bars, we do weather. I don't know who this is, but thank you for sharing the hail on Cape Cod and Barnstable yesterday. I think that was probably around 4 or 5 o'clock. I know that the north side beaches, they were asked, they were told to get off the beaches. That's what Charlie Brown told me from Mayflower Beach in Dennis. And winners of the H2O lottery yesterday in all of New England, this almost never happens in the summertime, especially with high pressure around, Yarmouth and Dennis coming in with a ½ inch of rain, H2O yesterday, but it wasn't just rain. It goes in the books as T-snow. That's right. If it hails at your house in the summertime, climatologically, that's called a trace of snow. So we had ice falling from the sky on August 27th, 2025. And we were out here in Weymouth just watching the clouds billow. We went out to the sailboat race. It was a very dynamic day, and the weather kept changing every minute. I think we might have had a meso low pressure system form near Cape Cod yesterday or something like that, because at one point the wind was from the east in Boston so strong that the planes started coming in from the other direction. Meantime, our buddy Rand was down there kiteboarding in the islands to the south of Falmouth. He said it was so windy from the west. Just amazing. What a day yesterday. What are we going to do with the front today? It's Thursday. You know there must be a front around. So this morning, so yesterday that was just kind of a chink in the isobars, an upper level low and some surface convergence and just such cold air up in the sky and just enough moisture. I did not see what happened yesterday coming at all. And also in the southern New Hampshire area, there was a third of an inch of rain around Concord, New Hampshire. The HRRR did a pretty good job with the rain in New Hampshire, but did not even come close on the Cape Cod rain. And the NAM actually did pretty good with the Cape Cod rain yesterday. So NAM is out of the doghouse, and we're going to see it in a few minutes for this Thursday front. What Thursday front? The regional roundup at 8 a.m., 7 a.m. I was up a little late. I wish I had saw it earlier, but it was down to 34 at that point in Whitefield, New Hampshire, up from the low of 33. And that was cold enough for a record. The old record low temperature in Whitefield was 35 from 2009, all the way down to southwestern Massachusetts, close to 40. And that cold spot in northwestern Connecticut, Dennis Miller says it was 36 degrees in northwestern Connecticut this morning. So borderline frost on the backside of yesterday's upper level and surface trough. And we have an even stronger one coming in over the next 38 hours. So if yesterday did that, what's today and tomorrow going to do? Well, today is fairly tranquil. The front that looked like it was going to first be a vigorous front from about a week ago, then settled back to a sort of a backdoor front. Here's what it looks like from satellite now. It is a stalling front with a low pressure developing on it. It's about 1,011 millibar low that's not in any hurry to move. And that front extends into Michigan this morning with some rain. And offshore, the front from last week, a few days ago, is settled way off to our south. And we have nothing but blue sky this morning. And it's going to be a much more tranquil day because that front to the west and the north is only going to slowly come our way. And so we've got the 1021 high pressure system over the mid-Atlantic states that's in charge now. And if we look at the bigger picture surface map from this afternoon, you see the front northwest of New England. You also see a front across the deep south stretched from Georgia out there to, there's flooding this morning in Oklahoma and Missouri, and that southern energy and new weather coming into Southern California. It's actually raining near San Diego today, and that whole front to the south has a lot of energy with it, and we keep getting teased on whether that wants to come north and merge with our systems coming out of Canada, and it's not even easy the next 36 hours, never mind the next 7 to 10 days. So let's see, the radar this morning also showed that rain to the north of New England. Looks very impressive, doesn't it? But there's an upper level low that's digging over the Great Lakes right now, and as that digs, that front is slowing down, and it gives the opportunity of a little more southern energy to come north. And seeing as the NAM is out of the doghouse, why don't we try and use that for timing when and where it may rain? So this is the forecast from the NAM going forward this afternoon. You see the showers and thunderstorms mostly in Canada falling apart, and then new showers developing across Vermont and New York, mostly late in the day and tonight. And that's a front coming in from the west. And at the same time, there's going to be a little energy coming from the south, not quite subtropical, but it looks like we're going to have a prefrontal trough developing with possible cyclogenesis from Cape Cod to the Gulf of Maine tomorrow into tomorrow night. Didn't the Euros say something about that happening a week ago and then lost it? So now you get the heavier downpours coming across New England in pulses with really difficult to time. This NAM goes out to 2 p.m. on Saturday, and so it could be a cool gray start to our Labor Day weekend. If you count Friday into Saturday, this is 2 o'clock, and you have about 1,007 millibar low in eastern Maine and a front extending south, and you have the 552 and the 546 thickness coming at us from the northwest. That is an even colder upper level low than we had yesterday. So that has potential to produce thunderstorms and also hail and downpours in the next 48 hours. And we'll see how much rain and or hail is expected from the quantitative precipitation forecast from that same run of the NAM last night, which is out of the doghouse because it did a better job with yesterday's weather. I was in the doghouse because of what happened last week with that PRE back on Wednesday when it forecast more than 5 inches of rain and we got 2 to 3. So NAM did a better job. So you're out of the doghouse, and what does it say? It says that there are going to be these strips of rain across New England starting tonight for the most part and lasting through Saturday morning. This ends at 2 p.m. on Saturday, and you see some blues in there, that's a ½ inch, and then you get some purples, that's close to 1 inch, and it's a lottery, but more of us are going to see rain than we have in a while, and it's going to rain in Maine, even though it doesn't show much near Portland and Gray. Sorry, M. Bruce. If you look up towards the Greenville Lake area, Millinocket area, what am I trying to say? What's the name? Moosehead, and Cape Cod, and in that region, that yellow spot there, believe it or not, that number there says 4.2. So somebody may, highly unlikely, but NAM says may get 4 inches of rain in Maine, and that would be godsend, even though it is the beginning of a holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend coming in. So it's a really play-by-play, tough call, just the next 36 hours. And then what about that next week? Does the northern and western stream merge with the southern stream? Definitely maybe, but not according to the Euro this morning. So it looks like we may be seeing, just changing back to the Weymouth Big Dig here, it looks like that may be the final product right there, at least on the uphill side of the concourse. I'm not sure how much decorating they're going to do to that rail and that cement, but Luce is pulling out for the day here at 8:45 in the morning. I mean, there's plenty more to do. He's not going home or anything, but we've got these boulders that are going to be rearranged, and the concrete was poured yesterday. We're going to have some time lapses in the end more, so they're taking the forms off that freshly poured concrete. So the concourse is going to start going around the corner, all right, over to Wessagusset, where yesterday we went boating from right over there next to the Twin River Technology, and we went out and watched the beginning of the sailboat race, so we'll see that in the end more. And the sky just kept changing every minute. So yesterday's weather today is easier than tomorrow's weather today, but we're going to give it a shot. Let's go to the Euro now. And do I want to do the tropics? Yeah, I should probably just show this. National Hurricane Center says that Fernand is actually holding together 45 to 50 mile an hour winds out there in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean, but it's now a post-tropical storm, and Aaron is still decaying way up in the northwest, so nothing going on in the next 48 hours. There is a wave coming off Africa that the Hurricane Center says we'll have to watch for next week, but incredibly quiet in the hurricane department. That doesn't mean you can't get tropical downpours, and we're going to try for that next week, but the ECMWF Euro says no. Here is the ECMWF Euro, and it has the high pressure to our south, so today we warm back up to close to 80 degrees. It'll be a little cooler at the beaches. This front off to our north and west is digging. You have the 546 cutoff low coming across Lake Huron, and a lot of chill in the sky and a little bit of moisture coming up from the south. They're going to merge a bit. The NAM has cyclogenesis. This Euro does not, but either way, there are showers and downpours through Saturday morning, and then that's an upper level low with afternoon showers on Saturday in the hills of northern New England. It will be in the 40s and 50s, feel of fall, while at the coast, maybe not the best beach day on Saturday, but it does look like an offshore wind. And then Sunday, the upper level low is going to start pulling out. All the energy from the west and the south is going to be very far west and south, but there's a subtle backdoor front looking thing with high pressure in eastern Canada, maybe spawning a midday sprinkle on Sunday. But I think what that does, though, all of a sudden we see high pressure developing over southeastern Canada and Maine. That's different than we had yesterday, so that would be an onshore flow here Sunday afternoon and Labor Day Monday. That means the temperature may, if this is correct, be in the 60s at the beach, even though the sun is out, I think. So marginal beach weather. This always happens every Labor Day weekend. There's some kind of shot over the bow of the new season, and then there usually is a rebound of warmer weather, and it looks gorgeous here on Tuesday with high pressure right over us, maybe some record low temperatures again. And now here's the big change from yesterday, and it changes every day. 2 days ago, a storm was supposed to miss us to the south. Yesterday, the Euro had a storm coming right up through New England on Wednesday night, and now no such thing. All the southern energy is way out there, farther than it's been in the last several runs, and the Midwest there in the Great Lakes states, that's a 540 upper level low pressure system, almost cold enough for snow over Lake Superior, and that low is marking time and slowly coming at us with a front, not next Thursday. We usually get the Thursday fronts, but much like this week, looks like it wants to come in on Friday, September 5th. That would be a vigorous front that may or may not tap some southern moisture, but that would be our next potential for some helpful rains, impactful rains next Friday into next Saturday is September 6th. That's days 9 and 10, Friday and Saturday of next week. And it shows, what was that, about 1,009 millibar low somewhere near Maine, and a front extended down the coast, and we'll be getting on the cooler side of that front with a high pressure system coming out of southeastern Canada and more chill from Canada. And that chill from Canada would be hurricane repellent should something get going out in the hurricane department. But I think we're in a lull in the hurricane department now for a couple of weeks. So we just hope for these rains, and hopefully they're not falling on any of our weddings or our outdoor celebrations that we're going to have here. I don't know what you celebrate for Labor Day. That's kind of a difficult holiday to try and remember what we're doing, celebrating those of us that work for a living. They're used to work for a living. Work is play, play is work is what I like to say. Certainly the crew down in the center stage right here are working every day. They work through the winter chill. Last winter was harsh, and then the summer heat, and then those downpours. They've redone our swale here in our hills several times. We're going to see that view from the great Gulf of Weymouth. Charlie took us out for a boat ride yesterday, some sailboats, and we also had the time lapse of those last stone going in right there and the clouds. So there's a very busy and more. I call it yesterday's weather today. It's much easier than tomorrow's weather today. And more from our winning, wild, dynamic Wednesday. All right, 9 a.m. Let's try and get a little time lapse of, you can see the sky there moving a bit. We got the big trucks and the boats and the sunshine. And Luce has just gone left the opening right over the cistern, right on the lower left there. The cistern is there, so we'll see how this wall continues. Stitching it over to George Lane Beach. All right, that's an hour, and it's been very productive. You guys are the best. I love watching the big trucks going below the high tide line. I want one of those. Charlie, you want one of those? And loose ready to move that gravel there. So, should we do a little more of that? Torn because the pump truck just showed up at that end. They're going to start pumping concrete today, and only have so many gigabytes in battery life in this thing. But I think I want to see how these stones get moved, so I'm going to put this back down and just watch them move that stone for a few minutes, unless the camera goes kaput on me. Precision measurements of loose. Can't believe the phone is still going. It's like 2 hours now on the same battery, and the pump truck is over here. We've seen enough of those time lapse, haven't we? And the air coming from the east-northeast right now. That's pretty fascinating when you have high pressure off to your southwest. Usually the air comes from the southwest, but there's more going on. There's a trough, and you can see the cumulus reaching up out there. And a bit of a sea breeze also. Not a tight gradient, but I think it has more to do with a little trough, a low pressure. All right, good. I'm glad they're not doing anything. I can go in and recharge the phone and wait for the development. It looks like we are going to go out on the water, watch the sailboat race this evening. Beautiful. Blue sky and cumulus clouds thickening up. A rain shower just went across Cape Cod Bay. There's another one off to our west coming right toward us. And the subsidence over the ocean is fairly evident, but there's some rising air also encroaching over the ocean. Play-by-play day. Luce continues to place the rocks one by one. Over here, we're getting new concrete. More concrete. As the concourse extends. Heading around the corner next, connecting George Lane and Wessagusset. It's a very dynamic, winning Wednesday. It's pretty exciting. You can see the finish line of sorts, and a dynamic winning Wednesday sky. We have raindrops now. Look at the cumulus. When they're done pouring the concrete, we cover them up with burlap and soak the burlap. So rainfall is actually helpful. It helps set up the concrete, and you can see a pretty good downpour coming in here where I do not have a good view from the southwest. Despite I put the tent up, or the umbrella, and we will make a little more time lapse and let the kids out. Minutes. Not enough to make a puddle, but it certainly was fun watching the cumulonimbus go by. Make a Steve sighting. Steve wants to go over to the edge So I think we might be going boating next. Look at that shower that moved off to the south of us there on the right. And the subsidence over the water. But we definitely had some shower activity holding together over the ocean. So that means we had some upper level energy. And freezing level is not that high. It's probably about 6,000 or 7,000 feet. So maybe somebody got some small hail. Did we talk about that? What do you see, Steve? You see the loose team, the long hoses, getting ready to cover the concrete with burlap and wet it down. Nice work weather outdoors today. Hey birds. Charlie Brown just texted me from Mayflower Beach in Dennis, about 60 miles southeast of here, where there are also some towering cumulonimbus, apparently producing some lightning over Sandwich, Massachusetts right now. This one looks like it's a anvil almost up top. So we do have some pretty chunky clouds, so I'd be surprised if there is not hail falling somewhere in New England. But we're still going boating, right Charlie? Going for a quick haircut. We just traveled, I don't know, a mile from the house, and look at this, there was enough for a puddle. So we do have a little bit of puddle activity here in Weymouth. So it's one of those, which zip code got the puddle? Who are the lottery winners of the day? I've probably already announced them, right? Look at that lighting. Oh, this is fascinating. It's pretty interesting too. We've got a moat. We've got a boat. Getting on a boat. Over there. Come over here. Go over there. Yes. What a day. Fickle wind. It was hardly any wind when we just left the house. Now we get this northwest, so interesting. The guidance this morning had like a light variable wind over the coast and then pretty gusty over Boston, so we'll check it out. Setting sail from Captain's Cove. Oh, here comes another little icy looking cloud shedding some, believe it or not, there are ice crystals right up there. And we're going to take a little ride, and the boat's name is Hurricane, but we're hoping not to have hurricane winds. Should be very interesting to see how different the wind is as we go along. Here at about 5:30, feels like it's about 71 degrees or so. In at Bay Point for some perspective. There. From a curiosity standpoint, kind of technological marvel standpoint. Waterfront, Germantown, Quincy, and ultimately we're going to Hull. And everyone knows where we are now, right? Been here, done that a bunch of times. Tempo, getting warmed up. Hey, Kevin. And there's the concourse, the side angle where they poured concrete Creek today. That flag up there, brand new flag from yesterday. It looks like it's from the northeast. Stronger than I said it would be. It was either southeast or northwest. Northeast wasn't even one of the options in the forecast this morning. Yeah, weather does as weather wants to do. And then there's the truck that was in our time lapse earlier in the day at its evening resting spot. It's a little chilly, but it's so pretty. Winning Wednesday, weather dynamic, precipitation coming out of the cloud over the North Shore. Bragdon, Charles Bragdon, does have a mooring ball out here. When's the last time you used it?
About 3 years ago.
Space available.
Is it? Flying cloud. Wow.
Yeah, this catamaran is pretty fancy looking too. Doesn't seem to be out that often. Is this Christian's sailboat? I think it is.
Oh, really?
Wind is almost due northeast. All right, so the breeze looks like it's kind of settling a little bit here. We're not sure if we're going to make it all the way out there right now, but there's the fleet out there off Hull. Can't tell. 6 o'clock, and I don't think they've decided where the first mark is yet. The wind is kind of light here from the northeast still, but obviously less windy than it was over there when we left. And so they're jockeying, kind of waiting on the starter, who's right there, to determine, I think, where the first mark is going to be. Let's see how many boats we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 if you're in there. Static. Hey Jeff, where's the first mark?
All those people.
They're getting ready. You go, Black Seal. The air is getting lighter by the second. I wonder if it's going to come around from the northwest. More and more and more. There's the starter boat. Been there, done that, huh? Who knows when the race is going to start, but
that's right.
Thanks for taking us out, Charlie.
Oh yeah, I really think we're going to start limping back.
Yeah, it's so interesting because the air is going really light and it may actually turn around from a different direction. So I love verification. I actually didn't know what it was going to do. It may end up coming around from the west-northwest. I think we might have a mesocyclone south of us because to have the air from the northeast right now with a high-pressure system centered over West Virginia is pretty unusual. And the planes did start landing toward the east. Look at that, there's another downpour right out there. And usually when high pressure is to your south, the planes are landing toward the west as they were this morning and yesterday. More and more and more. I think this is a perfect spot for the piano music to start up and for us to watch a time lapse. First, we'll check out the Cape Cod weather. Some big thunderstorms. Closed the beaches again. Mayflower Beach this time, this afternoon. How much rain did you get, Jeff Mers in South Dennis? And Weymouth. Very dynamic sky. It's changing right before our eyes right now. Here's the time lapse from the day. We had puddles 1 mile away from the house, but as of 6 o'clock, I had just a trace in the re-engage at my house. All right, so we're gonna get home before this race starts. We'll watch from a distance. Feels like it's almost light from the east now. Appreciate your viewership. Thanks for watching. There's always a front on a Thursday. Where is it this week? Coming in from the northwest. Should be interesting. All right, Charlie, we can go home now. Think we'll make it? We'll make it.
You just won't be skimming across the top.
That's great. Thanks, Charlie.
You're welcome.
We never had a doubt make it home. Great Hill's got a great cloud and great lighting. Of course, I've wrapped up the shooting for the day, so this is just extra. Oh, this is so cool. There were waves when we left. Weather changing by the second.
Oh, yes.
You see that before?
Look at that.
Oh,
And anti on yacht checking bicycle. Gorgeous. Wow, what a difference. It's better and better and better. More and more and more. It's our destiny. Oh, how could I resist one more bonus shot? Didn't think we were gonna be home in time for sunset. There's the race. The wind certainly has gone light variable, hasn't it? What a day. A dynamic winning Wednesday. And I just saw one of the baby rabbits scurry by. So they're doing well. Hope you are too. Thank you for watching. More and more and more. Thursday, Friday front. Should be interesting.